Burns now with a cross. This is Vernon! Vernon scores! Grimsby Town is over! Utter delirium at Blundell Park! Charles Vernon! Delivered, Clark Burns, touchdown!
Penalty, great composure. Brian Mbeumo, he doesn't miss, does he?
The customary short run up for Brian Mbeumo. Stuttering run up, and here's the crossbar! Manchester United are out! Brian Mbeumo has rattled the crossbar!
This is TNT Sports' Adam Summerton, and you're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
And welcome to this week's Three Fish on the Shirt. We're able to go a little bit earlier than we were going to do because of the postponement today against Cambridge. I've got Rossi with me today. Hi Rossi, how are you doing?
Not too bad, mate, you?
Yeah, disappointed. Looking forward to the football this afternoon, but it is what it is at this time of year. Poor old Steve is full of cold and flu again, so won't be joining us today. Get well soon, Steve. Before we kick off, just want to thank our sponsors, Winner Chicken Dinner, as always, for their kind support with the pod this year. Been great supporters of both the club and ourselves, as you'll see from our adornments with their logo, and we'll tell you a bit more about them and what they do in the community with some of the proceeds of the competitions going forward. And also, if I can ask you, if you don't subscribe to us on any of our channels, please log in and either subscribe or follow us or whatever, particularly on YouTube. It really helps us get the podcast out to more users. And if you can follow us and give us a like, comment, get involved. If you disagree with something we said, just get involved. It's easy. So, without further ado, Rossi, welcome again. Thanks for joining me today again. Disappointing to get the game off today, particularly with a sort of 12 o'clock pitch inspection. Bit of a long trek for 750 Mariners.
Yeah, it's not great, is it, when you get the message they're going to look at 12. I did think it was a bit too late. I put a few TikToks on this morning regarding it all, and there's quite a few Grimsby fans that have come in and, said the same thing as what I've said. And I think there's a Cambridge fan actually come on and said they've got 75% of the pitch was actually fine. There was nothing wrong with it. But the only part that was frozen still was just around the goal mouth where it was shadowed. And they've tried for all morning trying to get that done, and still haven't done it. So, yeah, it's annoying. It's the fans. I feel sorry for them, the ones that have travelled. I know a couple that have travelled there today, and now they've got to come all the way back, and it's a waste of a day, really, isn't it, for them? So
yeah, and fuel money and the unnecessary danger of being on the roads. There's always a risk and reward, isn't there, by travelling, but especially when it's like that. I think for me, I'm always loath to criticise Town. I've had some late postponements, and I know they've been working really hard to get the games on because it's better for the club to have the game at the weekend than it is on the midweek and all them sort of things. So there's lots of considerations. There's waiting for referees to come and finalise the decisions and things like that sometimes happen. So there's more than one moving part to it. I think for me, the positivity around the fact they got covers and heaters and all the rest of it was that all the indications were they were going to manage to keep it on with having all that kit. So to be hearing there was a pitch inspection at midday, I was thinking that's a bit much, really. But there's all those moving parts to it. So yeah, always sympathise with the fans. I think there's always more than one side to the story. So I wouldn't get too stuck into anybody about it. But if I'd have been on the road, I'd have been fuming. It's happened to me before. Colchester was the one. I think it's about one of the worst ones to get to and be. And that was half an hour, 15 minutes before the game. So yeah, it's a bit shit when it happens, but it happens, and there we are. So no football this afternoon, but our decent form over the festive period is protected, and our 7 points from the last 9 in our 3 games are the ones that we've captured, and hopefully it gives the players a bit of a chance to have a bit of a break from the league for a couple of weeks. ahead of the FA Cup next week.
Yeah, I think we need it. But it's nice to have a break, especially now in Christmas period with all the games you have in such a short period of time. But I mean, it would have been nice to try and play today, I guess, to try and carry on that momentum. But we're still 3 unbeaten now at the minute.
And the same is true of Cambridge, of course, because I think one of the reasons they were keen to get the game on was that they're in a decent run of form as well. So, add the makings of a good clash between two teams that have found a bit of form. Yeah,
especially at home, like I said last time out, 11 games unbeaten at home, Cambridge. Fleetwood were 13, we obviously beat them. Could we have done it against Cambridge as well? Time will tell. Obviously, we don't know when the rearranged game's going to be either. We haven't got a date for that yet.
Yeah.
But I wanted it out of the way, in a way, because obviously everyone else was off today, and they were all waiting for ours to see if we were the only game to play at 3 o'clock for League Two. So I think if we did play it would have been beneficial. Once they're playing their rearranged games, we could have had a rest for that week. So it is what it is. We carry on, but Christmas period has been pretty decent, and we just got to carry it on. But obviously, FA Cup next.
We haven't had a massive fixture backlog. We've got the Salford game, which has been rearranged into, I think it was February, is it's gone into, if I remember rightly.
Something like that, yeah.
We've got the Salford game and now the Cambridge game will both be midweek matches. That's Salford at home, Cambridge away. Interesting to see, when that game is slotted back in, and it'd be nice to think it'd be somewhere in the middle of the back end of the season as opposed to right at the very end or crammed in when we're Saturday, Tuesday. But worry about things we can control and get onto that. So last time we covered off our improvement in form from Bromley through Oldham and into the Shrewsbury game. And then we went somewhere where there was a big record of home undefeatedness at the Highbury Stadium in Fleetwood, where we'd never won in a league game, and looked like a tough ask on a long trek on New Year's Day. But we went and got the job done. I think that was a bonus 3 points for me. I think I'd have taken the draw.
Yeah, I predicted draw. I think it was 1-1 I went for in the end, top of my head. But I took a draw all day long. I was surprised that we didn't win. I was surprised we did win. It was getting to the point again when you thought, it's going to be another 0-0 because it was just dragging out again. I don't think we're very good to watch at the minute. I think our games, last 2 or 3 games, have been very, very poor and very stale to watch. But yeah, it's we got the win, so I'm not asked. We've got 3 points. We've gone there, come home, and the boys are happy. So, it was one of them games where I don't think anyone really deserved much out of it. I don't think Fleetwood offered a lot. I think it got to about the 70th minute, and Fleetwood only had 1 shot. I think we had about 6 at that time, but we had 0 on target. So, yeah.
I listened to Pete Wild's interview after the game, and he said, "Oh, there's nothing in the more or less said what you've just said should have been a draw." But I have to disagree slightly in that there was one moment of quality, and the team that dealt with it and did the business got over the line, which I think is fair. So, not a lot to choose between the teams, but the one moment of quality there was in the game led to a goal, and what a goal it was.
Yeah, both the Irish boys linking up. Darragh Burns with a worldie ball into the box.
Super.
And KB, of all people, it would never. I don't think really ever wins an header, or at least gets an headed shot on target. This time proves us wrong, and gets a nice headed shot on target and goes in. But
you hope it's something to work on, doesn't it? What have we said over the last few games? Get a decent ball in the box, and Burns is one of my favourites for that. When he gets them balls stood up nice. They're just asking to be attacked, and I remember the one against Walsall away when we won their 1-0. That Corey picked up the knockdown and scored. This time, KB got on the end of it, and I wonder, coming on a sub, if there was a bit of hunger about in there for needing to get back on the score sheet. And I'm pleased he did, because I think the town fans love him, but I think people were starting to wonder, was he a bit of a flash in the pan at the start of the season, even though he's got 10 goals. There's a few of them in different competitions, but you want to see him scoring, don't you?
You do. I've slated him no end of times on my reviews and other stuff like even on this pod, and said, maybe he is just a National League kind of striker, and one goal, in my opinion, doesn't prove he's going to be any better now. It's just one goal. If he needs to carry it on now, but now he's got that bit of confidence, it might help him out. I still think Belder's done a really good job last 2 games when he started. I think he's a lot more physical than what Cabia is.
I've seen both sides of the coin on that. People arguing one way and the other. I'm more in the camp of there's definitely a player there, and I thought he was okay. Particularly the one where he nicked the ball, give it to Green, and then went on a run, and we slotted the ball through, slide rule pass through. The sort of play we've been screaming for and saying we don't do that. We don't play off the last man. We just sort of go ticky-tacky wide and then knock a ball in that we don't attack. And we've kind of done both of those things on Saturday, even though the game itself wasn't great, and there's lots of reasons for that in terms of pitch condition, weather conditions, wind, all that sort of stuff. But we tried stuff, and I wonder if, as fans, we're happy to trade a little bit of quality for a little bit of guile, a little bit of trying something different, and us coming away with an ugly win.
Yeah, I mean, I praised Darragh Burns for the last 4 or 5 games or more. Yeah. I think he's been decent when he starts. Obviously, he didn't start against Fleetwood. Mauzor started instead. But I think Mauzor needed to start in a way because he is a physical, pacey kind of winger, and Fleetwood are usually a very strong side anyway. So that helps. But then Darragh Burns, like I say, come on, did a shift, worldy ball into the box, and after both of them 2 boys linking up, we need a bit more of it. But just got to wait and see now, see what happens. See with Cabia, if Cabia going to start now because he's got a goal, or is Sims Bell going to carry on starting? I don't think Gartel might not want to drop him because of he's got the goal, Cabia, but I do think Jude's been playing well. Yeah. Like I say, he wins a lot of headers, not even just like attacking wise, he wins a lot of headers, trying to get the ball and holding the ball up. A lot more physical than Cabia, but obviously he hasn't got a goal yet. A lot of people saying he should have scored against Fleetwood in the first half.
I think he should have, but it wasn't a bad effort.
I think he
did the hard bit, really.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he?
I think it's on his weak foot as well. I think he's right-footed, isn't he, Jude? It was on his left. Just going to cross the keeper. But I'm liking him.
I'd have put it away. I'm left-footed, so I'd have got in there. The problem is, I'd have been still panting in the middle of the field, going.
Yeah. So,
in me day, let's say.
But no, it is what it is. We're like I said, we are waiting for the last so many games, and we just got to carry on. But I don't know if this is a hindrance or not now, having this postponement today, or if it's going to actually do us a favour, because we have got a long rest now until next week.
Well, I think the simple answer is we don't know yet. No. That's the honest answer, isn't it? And I think it could be a blessing, it could be a curse. Sometimes you need that flow of carrying on. But equally, it could be the welcome rest that players need. So overall then, are you happy with 3 games that are pretty turgid, having 7 points from 9 than you are from the previous 8, with 4 points, having played really quite well?
Yeah, I said these next games in around that Christmas period, I said we'd get 7 points, but I said that we would beat Oldham, beat Shrewsbury, and draw to Fleetwood. But obviously, it's happened a bit of a different way around. Yeah. So it's still 7 points I wanted. Still, we've got that 7 points. So,
are you happy to trade the slight bit of quality for a win, though?
Yeah, I guess.
I'll put you on the spot. And notice I pressed you for an answer because having asked you the question, you went around the houses talking about the predictions and what have you, but you didn't say whether you're happy or not. So. We're never happy.
No, I'm really happy with the way. Yeah, well, we're never happy unless we're winning every game. But
yeah, and we've won 2 out of the last 3, having not won or drawn 4 in 9, lost the rest.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll take some ugly wins to get us back on track.
Yeah, 100%. We just keep going now. I think it's Barnet next in the league. If I'm wrong, I might be wrong, I think
you might be wrong. You might be right.
But I think it's Barnet at home, I believe, is our next league game. So
right,
we will wait and see, but I think that'll be an our game and all.
Yeah, because we've got Salford's off. It's Barnet on the 17th. So that's a fortnight as yesterday. That's the Saturday. And then Cheltenham and Colchester away, finishing the month at home with MK Dons.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and go to the Cheltenham away game.
Right.
If I can. I am looking at trying to get there. and stay the weekend. So watch this space.
Nice part of the world. So, any other observations from the Fleetwood game? Particularly, and the previous games, because we covered the other two games in the last episode. Adding Fleetwood to that's 3 clean sheets on the trot. That's a defensive improvement, isn't it?
Very much so, and I think it's as much as defence needs praising. I think it's just Jackson Smith's just being quality, and I think they need that though behind him, knowing the fact that if he does go behind the defenders, you've then got someone in goal that's confident enough to take it on. Where I think when the ball went past them, when Pim was in goal, they're probably a bit wary.
And that must increase psychological panic slightly, mustn't
it? Yeah. We just need to sign him, try and get him on a, like I've said before, 6-month loan to the end of the season, and then possibly in the summer sign him on a permanent. Barnsley don't use him, although Barnsley fans are crying out to use him as their number one because their number one isn't doing great for him at the minute. I think they're 2 points off relegation themselves. Barnsley in League One.
He's not playing as their number 2 either. Then, if we're getting him on emergency loan,
2 or 3, 2 or second or third. I'm guessing it's third then. Must be.
It must be.
But yeah, no, clean sheets. I'm happy to have him in. He's confident. He speaks a lot more than what Pim does. He controls his boxes. So,
did you see his passion after the match as well?
Well, what even that match is it? It was Shrewsbury as well. Shrewsbury match. He was pumping chests with players and proper buzzing and cheering to the crowd. So he's got a lot of passion for the club.
I was looking at the Mariner Hoddo vlog last night. He's done some great stuff over the years, a bit more tightly involved with the club nowadays. And he was on the pitch with him afterwards, and there was a close-up of him, and he's giving it I thought, that's what you want. But 3 clean sheets from 4. The first one was a bit of a toughie, Bromley. The other 3, you have to say, I think since as in the previous 20 games or whatever it was, we've only had 4 clean sheets. To have 3 in a row is pretty good improvement, isn't it?
It is, and to say obviously we've got rid of one keeper last season who is supposedly the best in 92 at the moment. Someone like Jackson Smith is someone we need to keep hold of.
and he had another shutout at the weekend, his 12th clean sheet of the season, and he saved a penalty.
Yep. So why we got rid of him, I have no idea. But I am happy for the lad though. The fact that he is playing well and he is doing all right at another team.
He seemed like a great lad, to be fair. And I think there was obviously a bit of a strategy maybe with keepers over the summer that meant that they gambled on going for one stronger keeper and one weaker keeper, and it maybe didn't quite work out how they've intended. Because if you'd have had a Jake Eastwood, I mean it's ifs and ands and pots and pans, isn't it? But if you'd have had a Jake Eastwood doing what he's doing for Cambridge for us, arguably we could be much higher up the league right now. But
I think we'd be a lot higher up.
Yeah.
I mean, if you I was speaking about this to I think Levi the other day, and it's interesting to think what it would be like if the mistakes we've made in last month or 2 or even more, and some of the goals we've conceded, which then left us with a draw or a loss. Yeah. If Jackson Smith was in goal for them games, we'd still be out like Barrow 2-2. Take him out of the equation, we won that game.
Yeah, it's back to ifs and ands again, isn't it? And the truth is, it's happened how it's happened. That's the game. What did you make of Fleetwood? I was expecting a bit more from them, to be fair. I thought they were a bit of a better side than that.
Yeah, they've got some really nice players. I think they had two injuries, didn't they, pretty early on?
Yeah, I thought that definitely affected them, I think. Because they're quite youthful backline, didn't they, at the finish?
Yeah, two players that they rely on. And I know Zach Medley come on, centre back. I do rate him. He was at Arsenal beforehand.
Yeah.
And I do like him as a centre back. So obviously he come on and did the job. Shed Evans, we know he's dangerous up top.
He got booked earlier. I think that took the edge off him a little bit.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Which you got to be careful, don't you? And
he's one of those players. He plays a bit gobby in the ref's ear and pushing the limits. And I think because of that foul that he got booked for, he had to really rein it in a bit. I think that took a bit away from his game. Didn't really notice Toby Malarkey very much.
No, I mean I kept watching him when he went on the board. He had a little run in the first half, I think it was, He had a run through our midfield and got to the defence, and he was like, "Oh shit, what do I do with it? Do I play a pass? Do I have a shot?" And he did what he usually does. He plays just play through ball. He can't pull it off. But no, overall, I was surprised Elliot Bonds didn't start because I know he's a decent midfielder.
Yeah.
He was on the bench. He did come off. Sorry. Ryan Graydon, I think he might be their top scorer. I think for Fleetwood this season. He got subbed off, and they weren't happy he fell out with Pete Wild.
Yeah,
when he come off.
Pete Wild bollocked him in the dressing room apparently afterwards in front of the players, and he said that won't be happening again. He had a few little run-ins with the fans, is Graydon, because he scored at our place last year and went celebrating the fans, cupping his ear and giving it the old. So he's a bit of a fiery character by evidence of what we've seen.
I mean, if he's scoring goals, I'd have him. If he's got an attitude, then fair enough. But if he's scoring goals for your team, I'm not asked.
I think it's interesting that you get players with an edge like that they want to do well. Part of me says that when a player's disappointed in coming off, I'm pleased with that because I want them to be hungry to say, I want them to be disappointed at coming off. But he was very clear, Pete Wild, about he wasn't offering us anything, so I took him off. I'm not. If he wants to stay on, he needs to offer a bit more. Fair enough. I'm not sure that's the best motivation for a player. Jordan Davis came on again, but didn't really notice him very much near the end.
No, I saw him come on, and I thought, oh, here we go, he's going to score against us, isn't he?
Worldy free kick or something like that.
Yeah, but no, he didn't offer nothing, and there's a few other people that noticed that. Levi went to the game. He was at the Fleetwood game himself.
Another feature of Mariner Hoddo's video was Levi all over it. He was in the crowd.
Oh, was he?
Fairly strongly, yeah. Well done, Levi. Get your face in.
There you go, then, Levi. I don't know if you've seen it. You'll watch this and go,
Mariner Hoddo,
I might have to watch that.
Go and have a look. You're on there, giving it your fantastic away following. Just another thing around social media. When Denver Hume went to Fleetwood, they described themselves and changed their handle on Twitter to an opportunity elsewhere before they signed Denver Hume. A few Town fans bit back with an opportunity elsewhere 0, Grimsby 1 and stuff like that. A sort of mixed bag of emotional response to that was, you shouldn't be taking the piss out of it because it's Denver and he's been badly injured and the like. Personally, I don't see it as a slight on Denver. It was nothing to do with him really. It was the fact that the club's admin were kind of goading Town, I suppose, and I think it's kind of fair game to pop back. I don't think it's a dig at Denver at all. I mean, there was a few people that did dig at Denver, and I don't agree with that really because, like I say, he's in a position where none of us would want him to be.
I've seen a TikTok the other day, and it was there was a video. You might remember it. There's a video, and Fleetwood admin were speaking to Fleetwood players, asking who they're looking forward to playing most and where. And Denver come out with, I'm looking forward to going against Grimsby. And then someone edited it, was like, 1-0 Denver, unlucky. And then said a bit more. It was a bit more offensive towards him, and I thought there's no need for it.
Yeah,
I said, the stuff he's going through at the minute.
Yeah, exactly, and that's my point. Is
it's just gone to a different. It's just gone to a different team. He's. I would have thought he'd probably be on a bit more money than he was with us at Fleetwood because they've got a bit of money behind him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason why he went. He hasn't obviously done anything there at the moment because of what's been going on. But if all players move on, I mean, we've got some that might move on this summer, January, whatever. It depends. It's a job, isn't it, at the end of the day? So. They've got to go for the right reasons. The
bottom line for me was a pop back at their admin is perfectly legitimate. Having a pop at Denver, it's not really cricket when you think what he's been through. And we wish him well, and hope he gets back to playing. Although after that sort of injury, it's which was bleed on the brain, I think, wasn't it?
Something like that. He got injured in training, didn't he?
Yeah, it's really, really difficult to imagine having the confidence to head a ball or stick your head in somewhere that you might get kicked again. But yeah, wish him well and certainly no issue there. On you saying about the players, you forget that they're players and it's basically work to them, which it is. Obviously, it's a really privileged job to be involved in. I saw one today saying you've got to want to die for the badge and all this, that, and the other. That works for fans, doesn't necessarily work for players. Yeah, you have to remember that sometimes. It's not the same for players as it is for fans, although much as we want it to be from. So yeah, interesting. In terms of ins and outs, we've got a few issues probably popped up at the club with the window just opening up. We'd love a striker. There's been rumours. I don't know if it's rumours or just fans wanting an Andy Cook type player to come and be the player to get on the end of those balls in the box. But we see certainly Bradford sources saying that he's almost nailed on to sign for Barrow, which is a bit of an oddity to me. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd prefer Andy Cook to come to us. It's not far from Grimsby, not really.
Your old mucker Jamie Walker's here and Reece Staunton.
That's what I mean. He's got contacts here, so maybe they might have had a word, or you would have thought they might have had a word. Get him here. He's played for us before. I think we're in a better position than what Barrow is, really. Maybe he'd come to us and help us out, trying to get promoted like he has done with Bradford and whatnot. But if you're going to go to Barrow, it goes to Barrow. But the only thing I can think of, like I say beforehand, is the only reason he's gone there is because he's got in contacts up there where he can stay up there, because obviously he did play for Carlisle before, which is obviously around the corner from Barrow. So maybe it's more convenient for him that way.
But has he not played for Barrow before?
Don't know, actually.
I thought you had.
Not sure.
We'll soon find out. It's easy to check these days, isn't it?
You watch it. You'll look him up, and he's not played for Carlisle.
Yeah, Carlisle, no game.
Pretty sure he did, though.
He was at Carlisle for 2 years in 2009, and then he was at Workington on loan. Never played for Carlisle while he was there.
Oh, right.
Played for Barrow on loan in 2 spells. Then went to Barrow for 60 games. Came to us for 73 games. Went back to Barrow for 87 games. And then went to Tranmere. So, yeah, Barrow is his main contact up there. So,
That'll be one.
It could be. But equally, it may be that Town weren't interested. It could also be that he's not interested in us and didn't want to. So, there's many moving parts, isn't there?
Yeah, I think we do need that kind of striker, though.
He's not one for the future, though, is he?
No. He's definitely for one that could do it for now. But we need a striker. I think 3 positions we could possibly look at. We need 3. I'd say 3 positions. I was thinking about something else then, but yeah, 3 positions. I'd say striker, right back, goalkeeper in a way if we can try and get Smith, or just goalkeeper in general, depends if we don't get Smith. But I think we need like a CDM kind of player.
There's two loan deals that don't make any sense to me at all. One's Casper, and the other one is Neo Eccleston. Now, he's played a few minutes at MK Dons. I think he played a few minutes in one of the other away games. I don't really get why we bothered signing him if we're not going to play him. And equally, Casper. I mean, the minute we've had goalkeeping issues, we've brought in emergency loans twice now with a guy from Derby. What was his name? Richard, someone. I've forgotten his name.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's how quick it's come and gone. And Jackson,
one game we went.
and Jackson Smith. So that kind of doesn't make sense. Although maybe we weren't expecting an issue with Pim. I'm sure we weren't expecting an issue with Pim. So there's that. So yeah, that's another area where you think we'd love to see an extension of Jackson Smith to the end of the season to get us through this season, and then have a rethink on the keeper front.
That's what I think. I think he needs to go back. And I think Smith needs to go. I think Smith, we need to get an extension. I do think Charlie Casper will get recalled and go back to Burnley.
Yeah.
And I do honestly think Eccleston will go back to his team as well. I think they'll just take them back.
Yeah.
Because it's putting us spending wages on them when we're not using them.
And equally, it's not
but I think that
for the host
keeper
clubs,
situation he saw him first.
For the host clubs, it's not great to have their players out not playing. I mean, if we send in like Corey out to Spennymoor the other year, we wanted him out playing, didn't we? It turns out he was ill, but that was the reason for getting him out there, wasn't them not playing him. And the other situation that's popped up is George McEachran's reluctance to sign a new deal. So we've got a dilemma. Do we try and cash in now, or do we invest his time between now and the end of the season trying to get us up the table?
That's what I just said a minute ago. I think we need to try and sign another CDM. For me, if it was up to me, I'd cash in and get rid of him this month, rather than him go in the summer on a free, because it'll be worth a little bit that we can use that money for. I think it's ideal anyway if it does go, because I do think Tory will just slot in that position fine, because he's been spot on since he's been playing anyway.
We've eased him in a bit.
So I think McEachran goes, Tory goes into his spot. Yeah.
We've eased him in, haven't we?
McEachran goes, Tory goes into his spot, and then we get another signing as a CDM that can then cover if needed, be on the bench or something like that, to help us out. But that's what I'd do.
And that decision making for George also underlines the whole. Yeah, it's all right saying about the badge, but they're only here for a couple of years, maybe, or the next they're only as good as the next contract, aren't they? So, they have to think about it like that.
Yeah, I mean we've said for a number, since he's been here, to be honest, how lucky we are to have him, and we can't see him being around much longer. And to be fair, I don't think we can expect him to be around much longer. He's obviously, he's ignored the contracts that have been offered to him for a reason. From what I've heard, he wants to play down south. London way is where he wants to be. And League One clubs and whatnot are looking at him. So if they want to get him, then get him. But in my ideal, my thinking, sell him this month and get some money for him. Why would you leave it till summer and let him go on a free? I don't understand it.
Yeah, no, I'm on the same sort of. If we didn't have Churi, I might say different. But we've got a number of options, haven't we? We've got Churi, we've got Corey, we've got Walker, we've got Green. It's not like we're hampered in that middle there, is there?
No, I mean Green and Walker.
And it doesn't stop you bringing somebody else in early to replace him.
Yes, I mean Green and Walker. I mean they're a bit more attacking, I think nowadays, especially Green. Yeah. Beforehand he used to be a CDM, and now I was trying to convert him into a more attacking threat. But Corey could slot in there. There's quite a few players I think could do a job there. But but I think, like I say, get rid of him, bring someone in that can just do a job in that CDM spot if Tory's not about, or they want to rotate it. Whether it's just a youngster, like a young player from somewhere, get him on loan, or a permanent. And then bring him up through our ranks or something, then fair enough. But I'd definitely cash in on him if I was Grimsby.
Well, we'll see how that plays out in the next few weeks. The window's open until the end of January, so it'll really be, what will be, but we'll follow that through in our future episodes over the next few weeks. So that'll be interesting. Other noticeable stuff around League Two at the minute. Bromley on an 11 or 12 game winning run is pretty impressive. We've acknowledged that they're a big, strong side, and it's certainly working out for them. I keep rattling on about they score at least 2 goals every game at home in their 13 home games. They've only failed to score more than one once, and that was against Bristol Rovers, and they lost 2-1 to Bristol Rovers. I mean, only the best teams do that, don't they? Lose at home to Bristol Rovers. They've scored 2 goals on 10 occasions, 2 goals on 3 occasions. Sorry, 3 goals on 2 goals on 3 occasions, and the one game with 1 goal. So, you've almost got to go there and score at least 2 goals to get out of the game with them. And we didn't, so we lost. So, he's done a great job up there as Andy Woodman, much as Town fans have had their fun with him over the years.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. I think probably the top of the league by 2 points, I think now, something like that. It's weird how, last season they were not really up there at all. And Andy Woodman seems to have turned it around and got some players in he wanted to get in, and they just performed. But like I said before, they have a very strong physical side, and a lot of League Two teams don't like that. And that's the way I think most of the time. That's why they've won. I mean, they've also got a good scorer in Marco Chica, who can put balls away. And there was rumours last summer that he was going to be leaving, so I bet Bromley fans are buzzing the fact that they let him go. But doing really well. I'm pretty I'm happy in a way for Bromley, because for me, I don't see them as a EFL kind of side.
No,
they've always been kind of a non-league side, haven't they?
And I've constantly moaned about teams like that are a bit. How do they manage? In fact, at the weekend, Matt Dean commented on just the crowd at Fleetwood. I think it was something like 3,023, and I commented on the Three Fish Twitter page that I don't understand how clubs can manage on crowds like that. I said 44 million in debt speak to volumes, but I don't see how it's sustainable. At some point, that club's future is going to be on the line if the people underwriting that sort of losses pull out. And it got a nice mention on the BBC commentary, apparently, that Matt Dean said he wished us well, and that you ought to listen if you haven't listened to us. So thanks, Matt, for that little plug. But yeah, teams like that bug me in a way, but I also have admiration for them in terms of being able to turn to with a level of resource. It makes it all the more impressive. Other things, the Bromley positivity is kind of a double-edged coin in League Two to Walsall's ability to continue to have good form after Christmas. On the 16th of December, they were 2 points clear at the top of the table. On the 1st of January, they're 5 points behind. So that's a 7-point swing in just 2 weeks. What do you make of their last 5 games? They've lost 2-0 to Cambridge, lost 2-1 to Oldham, a 1-0 win against Crewe, and then 2 draws before that. So, 5 points from 5 games, and lost the last 2. Are they going to have a wobble again, and is it going to get to them?
I don't really know. I mean, I did my prediction for the table. I do it all the time. I do my pre-season prediction. Sorry, for the table, and then I do my one for Christmas. And I have got Walsall still to go up.
Automatic.
I can't think. I've got them to win.
Okay.
Win the league.
Champion. Yeah.
Yeah. I just can't see, and I can't think that they can bottle it again. Surely they can't do it 2 seasons in a row, because if they do, surely God, Matt Sadler's got to go.
In the words of Mick McCarthy, oh yes, it can.
Yeah, it can. But
can't get any worse. It can.
I mean, Cambridge, good team. Fleetwood, good team at the moment. Both of them. Oldham, a bit inconsistent, but they have won games against some of the big dogs in the league at the moment.
Oldham are
the 2 draws.
on an improved run at the moment. Another team that's picked up is Bristol Rovers. Had a good win at the weekend, 3-0 at Shrewsbury, who are really banging trouble, aren't they?
Oh, Shrewsbury, yeah, they're not great, are they? I don't know how Michael Appleton's not been sacked yet, to be honest.
The club's in disarray pretty much from top to bottom, by all accounts. Yeah. The owner, Wycherley's not covering himself in glory, and I think there's a lot of Shrewsbury fans will want him to sell up and bugger off.
Yeah, it's. I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook and bits like that, where they're slating the owners and the manager and everything else. Everything to us, the club, to be honest. It's not good for Shrewsbury or Bristol Rovers. Obviously, got that win that's much needed. But the Bristol Rovers need to carry that on. They can't just stop now and have another load of losses. They have got a good manager in Steve Evans, so whether or not they can do it or not, we'll wait and see. I don't think they'll go down.
A much-loved character amongst town fans, another one, Steve Evans.
Yeah, he's definitely a character.
He's turned over a new leaf, hasn't he? Very much a slimmer version of his former self.
Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he? He's everyone knows him to be, a bit of a bigger lad, shall I say?
Nothing wrong with big lads.
He is now, and he is.
Nothing wrong with big lads.
No, there isn't. And no, he's done well for himself to look what he looks like now, He's doing well. I just hope he does all right at Bristol Rovers. I don't think they'll go down. I think they'll stay up.
I don't think they'll go down. I think there are too many worse teams, although their run was pretty awful, wasn't it, by anyone's standards?
Really bad. They have already made a signing already this January as well. Bristol Rovers has signed a midfielder from Peterborough, so that'll hopefully make some improvements in midfielding for them. There's quite a lot of different teams that have made some signings as well. I know Chesterfield are on their 5th signing already. They've already done.
Yeah.
They got 3 today. So, I mean, Chesterfield are on it. They're going to try and keep on banging in the goals and getting the players in to help them try and get playoffs or promotion. So, they're on it. I think Swindon signed 2 players. There's players already going to different teams.
Crawley signed someone as well.
They've signed quite a few, yeah. But then they got smashed today.
Yeah. Just rounding up the scores then from New Year's Day. Barnet beat Crawley 2-1. Barrow lost 2-1 at home to Salford. Bromley beat Newport 2-1. They got their regular 2 goals and then conceded near the end. Cambridge beat Walsall 2-0. Colchester 1, MK Dons 0. Crewe gave Cheltenham a bit of a tonking 4-1. We beat Fleetwood, obviously. Tranmere revived a little bit against Harrogate. Everybody seems to be able to beat Harrogate at Harrogate except for us. Accrington had a great win at Notts County. I mentioned that earlier on. Oldham drew with Chesterfield. Shrewsbury got beat by Bristol Rovers, and Swindon beat Gillingham and scored yet another late goal with Dryan getting a last-minute 3rd goal. And as you rightly point out today, Cheltenham have given Crawley a bit of a spanking 3-0, and MK Dons have drawn with Chesterfield 2-2. And they're the only 2 games taking place today, and I assume that's because the Sky heated tent has been provided to Cheltenham, and apparently MK Dons have got underfloor heating anyway. That's your two games for today. The rest are all off. Interestingly, just as we were coming on air, you got word about Hull City. What can you tell us about what happened at Hull?
Yeah, I was just about to start, and I had my other half come in and say, "Have you seen what's happened at Hull?" I went, "Well, no, because Hull versus Watford today at Hull." And with about 20 minutes left to go before kick-off, Hull have decided to postpone their match due to frozen pitch. So, a lot of fans were not happy, and I think it's absolutely disgraceful the fact that they've left it that late to call off. But then, obviously, yesterday wasn't we had another incident with Altrincham and Morecambe yesterday. I think it was 5 minutes until kick-off, and Altrincham called it off. So, how they get away with it, I have no idea. You either know or you don't know if it's going to be on. Just call it off.
You have to laugh in these situations at something, don't you, just to keep your sanity. The quote an hour before, probably half an hour before kick-off, an hour ago, as we record this at 20 to 4 in the afternoon now, and it's 20. This would have been about 20 to 3. Congratulations, Hull City, for being the only club in Yorkshire and Humber region not to be tin pot and actually get a game on this weekend. Well done, Hull City. And then there's a comment from my good self on the Three Fish thing saying, "Beep, beep, beep, this tweet is reversing." And then the guy, Neil Jackson, well done, Neil, for fronting it up, has posted the little Homer Simpson meme where he's backing into the ball.
Yeah.
So, yes, good on you, Neil, for seeing the funny side. Went a little bit too early.
Not good, though.
Yeah. It looks like the pitch was okay. It was the edges, the strips around the edge.
Yeah, I just don't get it. And Hull's not even a bad stadium either. They've got to have underfloor heating or something, surely.
Well, there were Premier League not that long ago at the point where you needed it. You're not going to take it out, are you, after you've had the...
no, you would have thought so.
Certainly Championship level.
Yeah, I don't understand. I think it's shocking. And hopefully the Watford fans get some well-earned compensation for it.
Yeah, you'd like to think so. Difficult to see how anybody getting the money back for the travel, but your ticket's about all you can expect, isn't it? So that rounds up sort of League Two from where we are at the minute. We turn our attentions then to the FA Cup next week, hoping to have a bit of a preview episode with some guests on this week. We've got Glory Hunter going to come on and talk to us about following a team from the early rounds right through. They had Wealdstone up till the last round, and now they're on us. So we're going to get him on to talk about that, and hopefully we'll have some guests relate to Weldon, Western even Supermare. So this is the first episode of 2026. 2025 was an eventful year for the Mariners and for the podcast. It's gone from strength to strength. We thank everybody for continuing to watch and listen. One of the interesting changes this year has been your addition to the pod, Rossi, and well, certainly a highlight for us. But have you got any personal highlights yourself, or on the pod, or for Town, or both?
For Town, I think many people say it's just Marvin the Man United game, or I think that's everyone's highlight, to be honest.
It's a once in forever nearly sort of match, that, isn't it, at home, and it's hard to say it's anything else. Just recently, I've been rewatching some of the little clips of both of our goals and the penalties, the winning penalties, at least the last two penalties. With Man United meltdown fans in the background, I put a little mishmash together, which I'll drop on here after we've spoke about Angry Ginge and another fella. It was quite funny, but yeah, brilliant game, and probably never to be repeated for a long time, if at all.
No, so that was probably that one. It's hard with 2025. Obviously, we need the playoffs, didn't we? Last season, we went far off getting that.
It went right to the wire, didn't we? We pushed it as far as we could. Yeah.
And then I think recently, well, I say recently-ish, obviously we gave Cheltenham a thumping, give them 7-1. You don't really see that every week. It's something, when you do see it, when you are, the fact that you can just sit back in your seat and watch all these goals fly and not have to worry about losing or drawing, it's pretty comfortable. It's pretty nice to watch. So I'd probably say that's probably one highlight of 2025 as well. Yeah,
it's great, isn't it? I mean, we had that good cup run. I think another one highlight for me personally was the Sheff Wednesday away game. That was with the boycott being on, the stark contrast of 6,000 Town fans sort of ramming the away end and a nearly empty rest of Hillsborough was quite a sight to behold, and to get the win made it quite special. The whole cup run itself was brilliant. It's interesting. We've had 6 out of 7 draws in all competitions this year, in the sort of drawn competitions we've had at home. So Sheff Wednesday was the only away one, much to your dismay. And then for the podcast, the fact that the watching and listening figures continue to rise is a highlight personally for me. Getting yourself on board has been a big boost for us this year. So we thank you for joining us. And
pleasure.
The guests, probably the highlight for me, guest wise, initially was Dave Moore at the end of last season, because of the stories I knew he'd have, the fact he was playing when I first joined. But then we backed that up, thanks to yourself, with Mike Brolly from the same era, and they're absolute treats for me. And the other guests that you've managed to secure for us as well, in Craig Disley, Nathan Arnold, and then getting Polly Bancroft on us really put strength to the and depth to our level of guests we've been getting on, which is fantastic. So long may that continue. We celebrated our 50th episode as well, and it occurred just so happily around the Man United game, which is where you first sort of dabbled in coming on as a guest, before joining us in the few weeks after that.
Yeah, it was when you really started to. Well, you really saw me for the first time as the 50th anniversary, really. So, it's been a pleasure being on pod at the moment. It's been good. Like I say, them guests that we've had on, and I've tried to help out and put them on for us and get to know what the ins and outs, what they were like at the club and past clubs they've been at. And it was really nice to have Mike Brolly on. From my perspective, obviously, he was a teacher for me growing up, but for you, he's one of your Grimsby heroes, I guess.
Exactly.
That has been playing. So that was a nice one. And then hearing from Polly as well, talking all the ins and outs of Grimsby. And I think it's nice just to speak to people that you wouldn't normally talk to. And it's hard to have conversations, I think, with other ex-players or anyone to do with the club, unless you randomly bump into them, or you just have the opportunity or you have the privilege to actually speak to them. But actually having that however long conversation with them, it's really nice to have.
Yeah, and it cements the links between the pod and the club as well, which is nice that we get the it's straight from the horse's mouth. We all have our own opinions about stuff, but it's nice that the club can come on and tell us a bit about how things are going. And I like personally to see what it's really like for players, because we as fans we kind of fix them as commodities in our brain, that they're just machines that go out to die for the badge, but there's a reality behind them. So if it goes sour and they get a transfer request or something like that comes up, I know from last year's people like Steve Saunders, who we wanted him to stay, but he went off somewhere else to Scarborough, I think it was, and you find out what happened behind that and what the club did, and you kind of then understand it a bit, and you understand that it's more than just about a player wanting to die for the badge, as it were. But no, there's been some great stuff this year. It's been a fantastic 2025. Sorry, Steve couldn't be with us today. I'm sure he would share some of those moments with us in terms of the ones we've picked out. But no, here's to a 2026 that sees us shooting up the table a little bit. And like I said, we've got a bit of a break now with the cup. We'll do a preview in the week, but we've beaten Ebbsfleet and Wealdstone on the way. It's now Western Supermare. Is it a 5:45 kick-off next week? Is it not right?
Yes, yeah.
It's on Discovery. Plus, big game for Western in that. Big game for both teams really. It's in the third round. It's the third round is a big deal. Whoever you're playing, for them it's probably not the Man United they would have wanted, but it's still, in terms of them, they're a big team. They won yesterday at home to Farnborough. My relative went down to see them, Jordan, yesterday to cast his eye over them. Said they like to get the ball in the box early, and they'll come for a game, but it's up to us to be ready for that and not underestimate them. Interestingly, they made an announcement. They've done something that Town didn't do, is they signed Luke Spokes yesterday and announced it on their website, which is something that we didn't do for Luke Spokes when we signed him, if I remember rightly. So what do you make of next week briefly, and we'll cover it in more detail in the next episode.
We need to win. I think it's simple as that. We have to win. We can't be losing to no offence to Western Supermare, but they are quite down the pecking order. We should realistically have better players than them, and we need to get round through to the next round.
There's a couple of reasons.
Ideally for me,
there's a couple of reasons for getting through to the next round. One, worth the prize money for the third round, and two, the potential payday in the fourth round.
Exactly, yeah. And next round if we do get through, next round if we do get through, we want a bigger team, like we did have Man United. Maybe something similar. Of course, as per usual, I'm going to want an away day. But half the time, when I look at the screen and Grimsby comes out first, I end up wanting to throw me
6 out of 7 at the minute. Has only Sheffield Wednesday managed to beat us in the getting out first. But we'll see how that goes. But it'd be interesting after next week to see if we can manage to see them off. Like I say, hopefully we can get an episode together previewing that match with some people from Western to give us a bit of an insight into a club that probably we haven't seen them for a while. I think it was an FA Trophy match the last time they came up. We beat them, if I remember correctly. If I haven't, somebody will correct me, I'm sure. But a bit of a break, and like I think you said to me earlier, the break could be a blessing. It could be a bit of a momentum stealer, but I guess we won't really know until later on. Anything else from around the world of Town or football that you wanted to pick up on today, Ross?
No, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything really going on. I've already spoke about signings that other people have made.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, there's not a lot to talk about. Obviously, There's been a few games on today, them two for League Two. I did predict a Cheltenham win and a draw for the other game, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Just reminded me, talking of predictions, we'll update our predictor table. So after 11 qualifying matches since we started, Ross is top of the table with 11 games played. He's predicted 3 completely correct scores out of those 11, which doesn't sound a lot, but it is hard to predict the exact score. 2 with the correct outcome, so that you didn't get the right score, but you got the Town won or whatever, or lost as it turns out. And 6 totally wrong, and 3 bonus points, or 3 bonus 2 points actually, with the correct first scorers in the game when you predicted Burns to score against Wellston, KB to score against Shrewsbury. Sorry, not Shrewsbury. Burns to score against Tranmere, KB to score against Wellston, and Matty Dennis to score for us against Notts County, which was very nice.
Not wrong though, was I?
No, you weren't. No. So you're top on 17 points. I'm second with 2 correct scores, 1 correct outcome, and 8 wrong with 1 bonus scorer. When I predicted Charles Vernon would score the first goal in our game away at Shrewsbury, where I predicted a 2-1 win. I was only 1 goal out. But it's a miss is as good as a mile. And then Steve is bottom but buoyed by his recent form. He predicted Town to win at Fleetwood on Saturday, which is his first correct score. He's had 2 other correct outcomes when he predicted that we beat Wellston and Shrewsbury, and he's got 8 totally wrong, as have I, and he hasn't got a correct score yet. He predicted green on for Fleetwood. He had predicted a 1-1 draw with Cabia today. You predicted 2-1 to Town with Vernon scoring first, and I had predicted 1-0 with Greeny scoring. So we'll have to rejig those calculations. But the table is, as I said, Ross on top on 17 points, me on 9, Steve on 5. But you get a couple of correct scores and you shoot up that table, especially if you get the bonus scorers. But Ross is the man to beat.
You got Western-super-Mare next, so that'll be fun when we get to predict those. It'd be nice to see what Western-super-Mare. If we get the guests on and see what they think.
I think we wait till after we've
we will do before
we start predicting. So that's that. So without further ado, we'll leave it there. Look forward to next week, and we'll say for one first time this year, we'll get the right button. Oh, the Mariners!
Not Mariners.
Oh, that lingered. Ooh. Well, that's a wrap for this week's 3 Fish on the Shirt, your ultimate Grimsby Town podcast. Thanks for tuning in and being part of our community, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcast, through Amazon, Audible, Spotify, iHeartRadio or Podchaser, or anywhere else you get your podcast from. If you're loving what we're doing and want more match analyses, in-depth discussions, exclusive interviews, then just hit subscribe. It's completely free and it helps us grow to bring you even better content, and it keeps that Mariners conversation alive. If you want to listen on the go, just ask your smart speaker to search for 3 Fish on the Shirt, Grimsby Town Podcast, or find us at any of the podcast locations we've already mentioned. Drop a comment, leave a review, and share the pod with fellow Mariners, because football's always better when we talk about it together. Until next time, up the Mariners!